There was Adam. You brought up during the week, in our group chat that apparently, and then I had to look into it because I was like, "Is this a thing?" And
Did you
a lot
look
of people,
into it?
I did
Because I
look into
can't
it.
really find anything on it.
A lot of people are
I
talking about it, but I haven't seen like an official. But a lot
Yeah.
of official people are talking about it, but I haven't seen an official thing about it.
Yeah.
But that is this GTA remastered
yeah.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a post where it
Hmm.
was rumored to be Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
my
and
assumption,
that was-
anyway.
That's the trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah, that was uh, sure.
Like that's the kind of when people say the trilogy, that's the trilogy.
That's what they're referring to. Okay,
Yeah,
and it's coming out 20.
No, this year. No, this year.
This year.
Everyone's saying it's coming this fall, which is why it's weird.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if that's
I
true.
haven't really been able to find anything on it. Do you want a remaster of those 3 games?
Well, do you know what? I've heard great things about GTA 3. I've never played it. I played a bit of Vice City and I really enjoyed it when I was younger, but I wouldn't know it as well as San Andreas. So I mean, sure. But I don't know if it would be like a day one purchase for me, to be honest. I have San Andreas on my phone, which I play, and I have it on the PlayStation 4. So like I've played San Andreas not like very recently. Obviously it's just a port. I don't know what remastered would mean for it.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like it's like there's a lot of hype around this remastered term, but I thought you could actually play all of these anyway.
I think you can. I think all 3 of those are available.
It's not native to like Series X or PS5, but through backwards compatibility, you can play them. So, what does this remastered mean? Is it like a Resident Evil 2 treatment?
Well, Resident Evil 2 was a remake, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
can't be
that-
called a remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd imagine it's. I don't know. They're bumping up the frame rate or something.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what they could.
Because they're still going to
do
look
to it.
pixelated as you know.
Well, it wouldn't
as
be
fuck, like.
pixelated. It would just be
Well, you know what I mean.
low
like, it's
texture.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny to me? Instantly when I heard Remastered Trilogy, and I hadn't even looked into it. So anyone who is talking about it is saying that it's 3 Vice City and San Andreas.
Right.
My instant reaction was, wherever, because there's a lot of GTA games. I was like, if this is a remastered trilogy, it is either 3 Vice City and San Andreas, or Vice City, San Andreas, and 4. I was like, whichever way they're going, Vice City and San Andreas are the 2 that are definitely included. I was like, because in my mind, those are like and a lot of people do say about GTA 3 as well, so it makes sense that that's the one that they're going to include as opposed to 4. But in my head, like those 2, Vice City and San Andreas, are like the golden era of kind of GTA for people.
Yeah.
So I was like, and there's no doubt in my mind that it includes them, and it's not GTA 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably a lot of similarities because all 3 of those were on the PS2, and it's the same game engine and things like that. So there's probably a lot of crossover there. It's probably easier than having to touch on like let's build up 1 and 2 and then have to do extra work with 3, or we do all our work on 3 and then if we do 4, well that's a whole different beast. So then we have to like redo that one. And whereas 3 Vice City San Andreas, there's extra features, but ultimately it's kind of the same game in terms of how it
Do you think that maybe
runs.
they're going to, by making a remastered trilogy, are they going to give it all the same features? Because you're able to swim in San Andreas, right?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't in 3 or Vice City, so maybe they're going to like put that.
I hear what you're saying. Because it depends. Like, because in some cases you'd go, well, a remaster usually doesn't involve adding to the gameplay or like changing the gameplay. But if you played a Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is a remastered trilogy of Mass Effect, they did actually change the gameplay to Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
So, because they found that when you paired it with the other 2, that actually there was stuff that was outdated at this point.
Yeah, I think it is.
So it's possible.
I think there's more. That's why I'm trying to find like what's this like, what does it mean by remaster? And I imagine they're probably going to change the gameplay. The gameplay is probably going to be a little bit closer to a modern Rockstar style game like GTA 5 with cover shooting and actual aiming and things like that. Because I'd imagine that, although you can play those previous 3 games on modern hardware, the gameplay is not accessible because we've been spoilt with great gameplay. With modern games.
Yeah.
So that probably hurts their sales to some degree. Like, they could probably make way more money off of older titles if they could just modernize the gameplay. But then, is it a remaster or is it a remake then? It's like...
If you do that, all this kind of... the terminology is interesting as to how you go about... I suppose, like, maybe a remaster would say it's like, we're making adjustments. We're like,
but there's also a rumor,
we're re-editing it, but we're not building it from the ground up again.
There's also a rumor that they were redoing Red Dead 1 with the Red Dead 2 engine.
As I looked into this,
So they're already looking at using their modern engine on an older game.
Which one would excite you more?
Red Dead 1 with the Red Dead 2 engine.
I don't know, actually. Like, if they were going to do a reskin of the old GTA games, like redo it in that kind of engine. Is that what you mean? Or just
shit! I didn't even mean that. I just meant like either the GTA Remastered Trilogy, as they're calling it.
Oh yeah, no.
Or this.
I'll always be more excited for a remake. Essentially, like a.
So if they announce San Andreas remake, is that the one that's going to make you go, "Oh shit"?
Yeah, I'd be more excited about that over a Red Dead 1 remake, because I like Red Dead 1 anyway. Like I can jump back in and play it, but GTA San Andreas, like, I'm not seriously going to sit down and actually play that game. It's more I'm just going to throw it on for the crack
and have fun.
Have fun with it. But if it was a remake of it, I would spend a lot more time with it.
Because, like, it goes without saying, right? Like, the characters and the music and the kind of time era of San Andreas was like spot on. Was like perfect, right? It was like a perfect marriage of everything. But like, and look, we've talked about San Andreas before. We love it. Objectively, GTA 5 is better gameplay.
Oh,
fucking stunning gameplay. And if you could put that in San Andreas, holy shit, man. You know,
when you think about it,
that'd be amazing.
The work is kind of done with San Andreas to some degree. Like, they'd have to do some configuration, but that is San Andreas in 5. So they have it there. It's there. Like, they just need to rescript the game, essentially. Follow the lineage of the San Andreas.
How cool would it be to get like Samuel L. Jackson to come back and like re-record lines and shit, or even add new lines in, and how sick would that be? He'd probably be way too expensive now, would he?
They could use the same.
No, honestly, I think I would actually like an update to CJ, and some of the characters. No, because like he was fine at that time, but like I think that we've come a long way in terms of the delivery of lines and acting in video games. That I think, like, even if the same guy wanted to come back, it's just that they do things differently now. Plus, I think in a similar way to what David Hayter said about Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
Right? Even if they didn't want to write new dialogue, even if they just literally wanted to re-record all the lines with the same actors. But I think that if you just ported the audio files from the PS2 to modern systems, I think it would sound wrong. I think you'd have to actually do a re-record.
I don't know. I think
I could be wrong.
I think the recordings for the PS2 were actually pretty okay. I get what Hater was saying about MGS1, because you can clearly hear that that's compressed as hell.
Yeah.
Which is why Twin Snakes is a little bit jarring when you hear it. It's like, that doesn't sound like Snake. It sounds a bit weird. But the PS2 one, I'd be more inclined to keep it just because there's a certain type of charm to it.
Sure.
It's like, it is crap, actually, the way it's recorded. It's like some of the dialogue is like no one speaks like that, but that's what makes it unique. Yeah,
it's in its own little world.
Whereas they might be trying to like, we'll put a decent performance in on that, and it's like, nah, that's not here, man. That's not for here. Like, just we want crap.
yeah. I suppose there is the issue of, if you remake these games versus remastering them, then you're coming at it with maybe new staff, couple of new ideas. It's like, I mean, why remake anything if you're not going to make some additions or changes or things that you could take advantage of? And in terms of modernizing these games, you could take away some of the charm that they actually had at the time. You know, I could see some of these games, for example, there would be a great opportunity in remaking it to touch on some modern politics, but you would then be doing something to it that's like, well, this is set in the 90s, or in Vice City's case, the 80s, right? And it's like, well, so in that sense, maybe remastering is the best way of just preserving what it is, but just like giving it a little polish of some kind. But my initial thought when it was, I suppose it's not really announced till we see a fucking trailer or something from Rockstar, but if this is real, my reaction, I don't think was the same as everyone else's. And it was, we're not seeing GTA 6 for years. I saw it as let's release something to keep people.
Yeah, it's Bethesda going, here's take a shot, everyone. Skyrim again, 10-year anniversary.
You know what? We'll touch on that in a minute as well, because why not? Because that's recent news
like
too.
that. I think it could be, you know, it's similar to that time when they were doing the VR version of Skyrim. Is that it's like they were just trying to figure out.
We need to rename our podcast the Skyrim podcast or something.
Why everything is actually Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because we literally can make a link to that game, no matter the topic. Give us a topic. That should be our podcast now. Use in the comments, give us a topic, and we'll somehow tie Skyrim into it. Make
it as difficult as you can. Like, make it really obscure.
We will find a link.
We are determined at this point.
The missing link is Skyrim. When they were trying to do the VR version of that, it's like they had a game essentially made. So instead of trying to make a new game to try to figure out the technology, because it is just the studio trying to figure out the technology, they use the game they have and they build the new one. So the same again, like with this anniversary edition, it's like no doubt that they're like trying to figure out, well, you know, the timing is perfect because of the 10th anniversary, but
yeah,
absolutely.
As well as that we can now take advantage of, like, what does the new hardware do for that? So it could be that Rockstar, if it is a remake, is trying to figure out our game engine and how it works. And the best way to do that is to use content that we already have, and on the side we can make a bit of money while we do it.
I think if it's a trilogy, then it's not a remake.
No,
it just confuses me as to why though. Why would you bother do a remaster? Or it is a remaster. Because
I think a remaster is only necessary if the game is stranded on some kind of
4,
right. Yeah, like realistically, GTA 4 could do it a remaster, and I'm not even a big GTA 4 fan, but it's the one that is like, you know, it's on the PS3 and that's it, and 360. Sorry, but you can't get that on the more modern systems, and through backwards compatibility, you can't get that. Is that available on Game Pass?
I don't know. It could be backwards compatible if you buy it or if you have the disc, but I don't know if it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, that one could probably do with a remaster. As for these other ones, because they are available, then you're like, to what extent is it a remaster? Like, what's the... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the Mass Effect one made sense to me because they were on the PS3 360 era. Mm-hmm. They hadn't been remastered for this new era yet.
Yeah.
So now that they're available on all the new systems. So like that makes sense to me. But when it's something that's like,
they're wanting to restore kind of good faith, isn't it? Like, because the Mass Effect branding is a bit damaged.
This is it, right? But this is it. So they announce a Mass Effect whatever that's coming in the future.
Yeah.
Right? And then they give you a remastered trilogy to reignite interest and keep you busy for a while.
Yeah.
I see that as the same treatment. It's like, okay, we're a long ways off GTA 6. We're longer off than we thought we were going to be, because there's talks of them re-releasing GTA 5 on the new systems as well.
Yeah, but that was announced during the announcement of the systems. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that's just like, This will keep you busy. To me, it says GTA 6 is still a long ways off.
Oh,
I know
at
every games event, people say, "Oh, maybe we'll see GTA 6 announcement this year, or maybe we'll see a GTA 6 announcement at this thing." But yeah, I think this is like, if these are real, if this remastered trilogy is real, then that's to say you'll see nothing of GTA 6 this year. In terms of just an announcement, you'll see nothing of it.
It's so confusing because you can literally get them on everything.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So technically, they have been remastered. You know,
yeah,
in order for you to play it on a PS4, it's been remastered to do that.
Yes.
Even to play it on your phone, it's been remastered to do that. It's like,
yeah, but they're just being remastered. Yeah, the remaster is being remastered.
Remastering it.
Yeah.
It's confusing.